Good morning, you guys. It's Rise and Thrive. I'm Tricia Turner. It's 9-ish. This is a podcast that comes to you every Tuesday morning, live, 9-ish Central Time. The purpose of this podcast, we've been running for almost 4 years now, a podcast every week. And it started as anything but average. Then it shifted to Walk Away Wealthy. We took a little bit of a break and then relaunched in 2024 as Rise and Thrive, because we want to bring you guys positivity, ways to help you grow your business, grow your life. And it's based on the 4 principles that are most important in my life, which are faith, family, finances, and fitness. And so I can't think of a better way to end 2024. So happy New Year to all you guys that are tuning in. We made it. Okay. If you're here and you're watching, we made it. Thank the freaking Lord, because it's been a crazy year, right? The election's behind us. The real estate market is still like a roller coaster, but we're here. And we, as a collaborative group here, are ending this year on a high, because we're coming into 2025 with nothing but greatness to bring to you guys, to our families, to ourselves. And so I want to introduce some very dear friends of mine, and we're going to spend a little bit of time telling y'all about what we're bringing to you in 2025. So I'm going to start with Lacie. Lacie, can you give everybody a little bit of a backstory about you, please?
Yeah, so my name's Lacie Lugo, and I am the CEO of the Apartments Concierge, which is a third-party leasing service for the apartment industry in collaboration with ROA. I'm also one of the leaders of the Collective Hub at ROA here in Houston, and so background in multifamily, real estate agent for over 10 years, and so mom of 3.
Love it. And again, dear friend, moving right next to Lacie, in my view, is Maribel. Maribel, give us a little backstory about you, please.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thanks for having us on here, Tricia. So my name is Maribel. I've been in the industry for 10 years and mom of 3, also a leader at the Collective. And most of my experience has been in retail residential sales. And so dabbled a little bit in hedge fund sales, loved that. But absolutely found home in working with, your first time home buyers and in that market. So super excited to talk a little bit more about what we're building here at the Collective today.
Love it. Amy Lampman. Amy has been on several times. You guys know that her and I have done a lot of things together. Amy, a little bit of backstory about you.
I am a former school teacher. I've been married to the love of my life for almost 30 years, have 2 thriving children who are young adults in our family business, and I am obsessed with investing. I love to coach, mentor, and train up-and-coming young hustlers, and I run the Lampman home team, and we have helped hundreds of families. I should need to probably should count. I don't know how many, but lots of families. So I'm excited to grow with you girls in 2025 and build something fabulous.
Love this. And Kim, tell us a little bit about you, please.
So my name is Kim Luague. That is a Filipino last name. Nobody can ever say it. So there we go. Hopefully everybody can remember Mr. Miyagi. Luague. Okay, that's how I get it across. I have been in the industry for over 10 years. I come from a corporate sales background, and I've enjoyed building teams and running teams and mentoring agents, taking a backseat from that to do a little more personal coaching, personal development, in relation to business, and then also being a leader at the Collective, which is something that we can't wait to share with you guys, and being a part of ROA. So I think there's a ton of experience here on this panel, and I'm excited to see what we all do together.
Love that.
Oh, I'm a grandma. I have 2 grandkids that I love dearly. Okay. They're my heart. They are my why.
That's super cute.
How can you be a grandma when you're 25?
Miss Amy, see, that's why we love you.
And Kim, you were running the former team when you were at EXP. What was the name of the team?
The Wire team.
And I'm sure you guys
all
are paying
women,
attention.
an all women led team around the country. We had agents in different states, different markets. And it was great. Like, we loved it. You know, sometimes there's seasons for things. Also why we're ending the new year with this podcast to kind of explain how 2024 was for us and what we're bringing into the new year. And there were seasons and we learn a lot. So I loved running the Wire team. It was very successful. And I love to take my experience from that and bring it here so we can do what we're doing in ROA. Realty.
I love that. And for you guys that are listening, you're like, what is ROA? Well, it's Realty of America. And so common denominator here is that we've all come together and are part of Realty of America. And if you haven't heard of that, like, stay tuned, because it's loud and proud and we're going to be all over and in your face and everywhere as we move forward. Launched in September at the NAREP Latitude Conference, actually. And we here in Texas are like dominating. And so Amy and I were previously at EXP together. Then we switched to Real. Lacie brought us this amazing opportunity because Mark Demas is the president and Eddie is the founder. And she just happened to hear Maribel talking about it. And her and Kim, they had a conversation and Kim's like, I'm going. And Lacey's like, I'm going. And Lacie calls me and she's like, you got to hear about this. I'm like, what? What is this? And here we all are. I will share with you guys that are paying attention that 6 years ago, because I was with EXP for 5 years and Real for a year. So 6 years ago, when I entered the cloud-based brokerage model, the revenue share model, and I was running my own independent brokerage, I had a vision. And the vision was, I want to have a hub. I want me as a broker to come together with 4 other brokers or team leaders, and we all collaborate together Monday through Friday to train each other's people, all people, any people that are with us in the company that we are with, which at that time was EXP. Tried very hard to put it together, and we're all here in Houston, you guys. So I tried very hard to put it together. Couldn't make it happen here for several different reasons. We're not to go into any of those. We left EXP after just things couldn't work the way that we wanted them to, saw an opportunity with Real, went to Real, and we're happily building what we planned on staying, a whole model and a whole system, until we learned of this amazing opportunity to be with Realty of America and be on the ground floor of building what we believe will be the greatest real estate company in America. Crazy, you guys, because remember, this podcast is partly about faith. God works in mysterious ways. What I thought was a vision of mine that was going to be buried and never come to pass because I couldn't make it happen within EXP. I didn't know why. Couldn't really get it together within Real. And that's another story for another day. But you guys, right now, we are at December 31, 2024, and it has come together. And it has come together with these 4 amazing friends of mine. This is my family. I love them dearly. And what we are doing is making the best platform for you guys, the real estate agent, the real estate broker, the real estate team leader, whoever you are in that world. We're going to help you grow your business and never go without. Lacie, step in on that and kind of weigh in your thoughts about what we're building. Lacie?
Oh, sorry. It's I'm sorry. I was like, it's so funny because like you said, faith and things coming full circle. And so, it's funny because actually the person that I've known the longest on this screen is Kim for about right at 10 years now. And so we met when I first got my license. She's actually the one that showed me how to set up my HAR and my Supra. So thank you, Kim. And then fast forward, I met Tricia, 5 years ago through my brokerage, which was named The Collective Real Estate Group, which is now the name of our hub, through a former agent of mine. And, I just knew immediately I was attracted to you and I wanted to do something with you. And, just a little bit of backstory on the name, The Collective, because I think it's a really important thing to highlight is that when I originally came up with the name for the brokerage, it was just me, right? I also had that dream of having a group of, 4 or 5 brokers or just more than me to help navigate the sea of agents that need assistance with training and, collaboration and lead volume and all of that. And so to be able to, come back around, revitalize the brokerage name for what it initially should have been intended for, with such strong people, I think is a really amazing thing to have now. And, of course, met Maribel by chance, met Amy through Tricia. Maribel came in, and immediately I was like, who's this person? She's so shiny.
I have to add to this that I met with Kim and Lacie, and they're telling me about all of the amazing things that they're working on. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, at this point, like this is ROA is Realty of America. It's pre-launch. And I'm like, they would be so great here, but I'm like standing in enemy territory at a KW office. I feel like this would not be appropriate. And it's funny because I went to talk to them about NARA because I sit on the board, and they were like, we really like you. You would do really great in leadership here. And that's when I was just kind of like, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm not recruitable, but I like you guys too. This is great.
I'm like, come to KW. Come to KW. She's like, no, I've got something top secret happening right now. And I was like, well, what is it? She's like, well, I can't tell you because it's top secret. And I was like, immediately, like, well, a month later, it comes to fruition. And I was like, I called Kim. I was like, Kim, call that girl who came to the office. She knows what we need to know.
I love that. Maribel, when you like met with Kim and Lacie, and then we've all come together, like what has that like sparked within you for your vision for 25?
It's funny that you mentioned that, or that you asked. Kim, whenever I knew of Kim because I'd always seen the marketing from the Wire team, and so I knew that she did such a great job with that team, and so I've known of some of you guys, just because when you're in real estate, a lot of the top producing agents, they know who one another are, right? I started a team in 2022, did not know that it was going to be the worst time to start a team. I mean, I started a team and then it was like, like it just tanked. And unlike Kim, I hated it. I loved the people. I absolutely love the people. Still talk to them to this day, and help them transition to the homes that they were at or they went to. But I didn't like it for all of the reasons that this works. It was me as an individual having, I'm a mom of 3, just like you and Lacie, and having to fill the needs of multiple individuals, making sure that they're fed, making sure that their needs are being met, making sure that you provide training. Like it was just a huge undertaking. And to be quite honest, I didn't like it. I felt like I was alone. And so I think that as soon as I met Kim and Lacie, and we pretty quickly came up with the idea to form the collective. And this was something that I think that for Lacie, it was like a chapter that had closed. And I don't think that she necessarily wanted to revive that name. And I think that we were like, this feels right, though. It's different. It's a collaboration of individuals. And we're taking some of the most amazing agents in Houston and in the country. And we are going to, I call us the Avengers because we're like the best at what we do. And so with that, I think that it was natural for Lacie to say, you know what, I see that. And so let's do it. Let's just give this a whole other new meaning. And so this is exactly what I didn't know I was needing and looking for. And it just, how it serendipitously fell into place is it's not very serendipitous. I feel like it's God's timing. So, and I think that I think a lot of you would probably echo that sentiment.
Yeah.
Love that.
I think it comes back to even when I owned the brokerage because I had it for several years, I never heard the word collective more than I hear it now. Yeah. Like even yesterday, and Kim, same thing. She's like, oh my God, I heard the word collective like 5 times today. I was like, there's like no way that this can be happening the way that it is. And then, of course, there's like all of this angelicness that I think is attracting to it as well. So it's like yesterday I heard it 3 times and I was like, man, I don't know if my ears are up or what, but I just hear it so much more now. And it has such a stronger meaning. And honestly, the biggest hurdle, just to kind of touch on what Maribel just said, for me was in my brokerage, I was recruiting, compliance, production, office operations. Like I was the face of the company. I had a pull-out couch in my office that had a bed in it, a wardrobe with doubles of like everything, because I was eating, breathing, and sleeping my brokerage for the time that I had it. And it just became very taxing. And I was having all of this emotional pull from my agents because we had 45 agents. as a boutique brokerage. And you hear 45 and you're like, that's not that many. It's a lot. It's a lot, especially when you're dealing with 45 different personalities that want your time, attention constantly, and you're one person. I mean, what do they say? Psychologically, one person really can only handle like five to six relationships, five relationships.
Yeah.
Like very close knit relationships. I mean, I max out at like 3 with the kids.
Yes.
And then Kim and Maribel, because they're full time.
For sure. Yeah. And what's crazy, Amy and I met, Amy, want to share a little bit of the story and how this has come full circle now?
Tricia actually came to my town, the Woodlands. And
my town, like it's
but she came to my zone, and we ran into each other. And from like the moment we met, it was instant, just friendship. And we had so many things in common. We were both moms. We both had these giant trailers with our faces on them. And so we're like, okay, I get you. Like we just immediately just connected, and we were in EXP, we were sidelined. So we weren't in the same lineage, but we didn't care. It was really about our friendship and collaboration. And so I think that our relationship was just built on true collaboration, not how much money can I make off you. It was never about the money. It was about helping each other collectively. And so we began to brainstorm ideas of how we could help more agents. And we birthed this little baby called Takeover Texas. But we quickly realized with only the two of us running it, and of course with Paul in the background supporting, that's a lot, but it's still a lot for just 2 people, right? And so we revamped it again. We tried this year, and we were growing, but at a slower pace. And we just knew we were missing something. And I know that Tricia and I both were like, we're so close. We just have to figure out the puzzle, right? And have some faith and really champion for our agents in this difficult market that we've been dealing with the past 2 years. And when she approached this idea to me, Lacie, you had come to our dinner club, and I thought you were fabulous. It was my first time to meet you, but I was like, I just feel like your energy. And I was like, oh, she's a boss. I want to connect with her, get to know her. I just adored you from the minute I met you. And Tricia's like, I've got to tell you something. And it was this big top secret thing. And I was like, wait a second. I literally just came over to Real 6 months ago. I couldn't stay for 3 days. And I prayed about it, talked to my husband about it, asked him to tell me every reason why this wouldn't work. And he's like, actually, Amy, it sounds like it's the perfect thing that you've been working towards, right? Sometimes you go down the road less traveled and that you hit a bump in the road, but then what do? It's in those moments that you figure out who you truly are, right? Do you give up and walk away? Do you put your hands up? Do you make excuses? Or do you continue to look for that great vision that you dreamt of for years? And so immediately when I met Kim and Maribel, I'd already met Lacie, and I'd already been a dear friend with Tricia Turner for years. I was so impressed with the whole scenario and just like what our brains were coming together and how well we just complement each other. We all have different talents and we all have different backgrounds. And what's funny about the 4 of us, Tricia, not you, but for me and Lacie and Maribel and Kim, we all started real estate 10 years ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What year did you guys all get your licenses?
2014.
2014. Me too. Okay. Yeah, that's funny.
What's funny about Amy, when she's just telling the story, is I literally was sitting in this chair, and when I called her, I didn't want to have the conversation with her because I was like, holy crap, like we're not brokerage hoppers, number one, but like this is an opportunity of a lifetime. And I wanted to be with all of us, with Lacie, and I didn't know Maribel and Kim either, but I knew that with Lacie and Amy and I, we could build this massive, just amazing network, because our vision has always been to build better lives by building better agents. And so when I'm on the phone with Amy and I'm talking to her about like Lacie and I's conversation, and I'm leading it, and Amy goes, Tricia, are you telling me that we're leaving Real? And she did it in such a soft voice.
I could hear.
She was not sure what I was about to say. And I stopped, like I paused for a minute, and I was like, I am. And it was just like.
And the first thing I said was, okay, I'm open-minded to the opportunity. If it's better for my agents and it builds leverage and wealth and opportunity, then I want to hear more. And so that's when I dug in deep. I looked into Eddie Garcia. I already knew about Mark Demas, but I didn't really know like his backstory. And so we did a deep dive I didn't sleep for those 3 nights. And then on day 4, on my long walk with my husband, I said, this is a big decision. And he said, Amy, if anyone is willing to dive into the deep end and make it sparkle, it's you. So
I love it. And Kim, like you ran the wire team. I don't think, as far as I know, like you didn't have this big vision because you're quite comfortable. So like you didn't have this big vision of, hey, let me go start being on the ground floor of this big real estate company and build this. I don't think that was what you were envisioning.
So let me talk about that, because I know a lot of you guys don't know my story, my background, and it's very long. We don't have enough time for that. But I will tell you, while I built the wire team, there was a season of where I was just like done with real estate completely. I think we've all been there, right? And I was like, I'm over it. What am I supposed to do? Praying to God, bring signs. So I had like a discovery year. 2023 was probably like helping my husband build his business. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I enjoyed helping agents, but I didn't enjoy the babysitting and all the hats wearing and all the responsibilities for people that may not really want that thing as much as you want it for them either. So I was kind of trying to find a middle ground of how do I meet myself in the middle of passion, but also honoring, my boundaries. So I took like a year off to not really think about it. And I also left EXP and moved to Real. I enjoyed it. I was there for about a year. And I started to build, and it's funny that we all have this vision, and this is the reason why we're here. I truly believe. And I had a couple of mentees that I have mentored forever, and they came with me. And I told them, I want to just be a coach. I want to be, a mentor. I just want to be that resource. I don't want to be responsible for your success. I want to be an asset to it. Right. So I wanted to build this thing where I just help people. So I started a coaching business, and on the side, I helped small businesses, and realtors are businesses and entrepreneurs. So I helped them as well. And I really enjoyed that because I was on my own time. I picked and choose how I navigated that. So that's what I did for a little bit. And it's funny that when this all is coming together, and, we eventually we'll have a book of how the dots kind of connected, and how
I feel like this started long before. Yes.
To get to here, to see this, to do that. And when you see it all, you're like, and so one of my mentees came to me the other day, and she was like, and we're all very aligned. We've done a lot of personal growth together in general, but like her and I are very aligned. And she said, I thought about you the other day because I was so proud of you. And she was like, this thing that you told me you wanted to do, like it's coming to fruition, like it's happening. So did I want to do it that way? No, I really thought that I was going to build this at Real, like you did, Tricia. Like, I'm going to kind of start here, and I'm going to kind of build this thing. But what were the pieces that were missing, right? Because you can't do it alone. You really can't do it alone. You think you can. So I'm like trying to figure out how to like maneuver and navigate, I'm in production as well, and helping the agents that were in my downline. And then how do I start build this coaching, resource for people? And it started off very, very, very slow. And then it's like the minute that Lacie called me for the apartments concierge, and she was like, hey, I really need some help here, wearing all the hats and doing all the things. Can you come help?
Overwhelmed.
I was like,
hold on. Because you didn't mention that first and foremost, Kim and I 8 years ago tried to start something when she went to start the wire team, and we went separate ways and we did our own thing. And then for the last 2 years, almost 3 years, I've been calling her. I first called her to come to the brokerage to help me, and she kept saying, no, I'm done with real estate. Kept calling her, and then she'd be like, I feel like you keep calling me for a reason, and I don't know what that is, but I feel like God's going to reveal that to me within time. I'm getting the chills, literally. And I remember it, and then I put down the phone, and I was like, I don't even know why I'm calling her, but I'm still calling, and I need help, and I know that this is the person that I feel like can help me. And so finally, she caved when I called her about TAC. She came over. And then this was just like a domino after that.
So I was still at Real, right? I was still at Real. She was like, you need to come over to KW. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it. And it was like back and forth. And then something against my personal will. It was God for sure, because he knows I'm stubborn. And I remember going, okay, I guess I got to go over to KW to help her with this thing, because she's like, but then it was literally KW for what, like 5 seconds, like a week,
like a month,
max. And then I bring my agents from Real, and they were like, look, whatever you say we're doing, like, obviously, you know what we're doing. And no, I don't know. I was being led by hired source. Right. And I remember going, it's not the vibe, but I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I did this. And so as we started, again, we started put the dots together. And then that's when Maribel, like, I reached out to Maribel about NAR rep. She came to have the meeting, that conversation, and it just all just kind of snowballed. And literally when we decided the collective was going to be the name, the vision, the movement, and we wanted to build a co-working space, and we wanted to build a leadership for resources for agents. We started doing that. I think we said 10 days. In 10 days, we had a name, a mission, a URL, a office spot. We had all the marketing, and we looked at it and we're like, guys, we did this in 10 days.
But that's because we have more people, right? And we play to our strengths.
Yeah.
And then also we had momentum, and once we had it, it just kept building. And so I think that we see a need. Our biggest thing is that we see a need and we fill that need. And I think that that's the biggest difference in that that's enabled us to grow, because we are growing. I think I get a message, it has to be every day this week, from Amy, where she's like, such and such is coming on board. And I'm like, someone else? This is great. But I mean, like, I kid you not.
Two more.
I know. We've got momentum. And so it's going absolutely great.
Well, yesterday, Amy brought it. So just to kind of highlight another aspect of the business that I think is extremely important to talk about is that Tricia has this, crazy pipeline of buyers and sellers that reach out so consistently. Apartments Concierge, which is now an affiliate of ROA, has this massive network of renters, because as Tricia pointed out to me last time, 50% of people in Houston are renting. And so, of course, with the market we're in, we have this wonderful renter pipeline. We have this wonderful buyer and seller pipeline. We have all of these strong trainers and leaders, and we're implementing systems now for our backgrounds and histories to basically generate lead flow for agents who don't historically have it. And so I was extremely blessed yesterday, because Amy marched 12 agents into the training. And I was training 12 agents on Apartments Concierge yesterday. And then we were shooting content for the rest of the evening. And as I'm in the car leaving, I was like, wow, this is going to be a cakewalk now, isn't it? so we get 50, 60 leads a day at the Apartments Concierge. It's pretty crazy. Just that's not even including our Section 8 component. And so I do love the idea that we're going to have this office where all of these agents are going to be able to come and really have a great revenue stream and be trained on how to do that correctly and utilize it. So
yeah. It's funny, if you are a real estate agent and you're watching this, number one, as of right now, end of the year, 74% of active real estate licensees in the nation have not sold a single home in 2024. So if that's you, our goal is to make sure that I come from having to train myself. I come from doors closing and all the big box companies that don't train. And they're all out there. They teach you how to do nothing to really sustain yourself and grow your business and be in business. They don't teach you how to be relevant in this market that's changing every single day. And when I see stats where people are going broke because they don't know how to sell real estate and they don't know how to get listings and they don't know how to get a full pipeline, that to me is sad. I internalize that stress and I internalize that pain. And so this coming together with these amazing friends of mine, all of us now under one brokerage, one umbrella, but we all bring different strengths. And our goal is to leave no agent behind. We don't want you to be out there not knowing how to talk to sellers. I'll train you. We don't want you to be able to go out there and talk to investors and not know how to do it. Amy will train you. We don't want you to be able to go out there and not know how to get a renter and get them into an apartment or a house. Lacie will train you. And Maribel and Kim bring all the support of all of us together, because if you left Lacie, Amy, and I amongst ourselves to run amok, we would do great and wonderful things, but they would be all over the map because I'm not going to create checklists and I'm not going to create anything. If you saw my desk, you'd be like, oh my gosh, but I know where everything is. But Maribel and Kim would go out of their mind if they saw this chaos that I live in.
You should ask them about their comment about my tabs on my computer. I was like,
I know.
I've seen your tabs.
I've seen your calendar. No, so just to kind of touch on that, Tricia. So Kim and I we're seasoned agents as well. We've led teams. We've got several hundreds of transactions under our belt. And so the biggest thing is that we come from corporate. I come from oil and gas. I did procurement and logistics. We have, I think, an operations mindset. And so, and it's what's been able to help bring on teams, right? You have a team, you're a producer. You probably don't want to sit there and talk to them about onboarding and answering all of their questions. And that's totally fine. Happy to do that because we've already streamlined the process from whenever we started within that first 10 days. That was one of the things that we knew it was a pitfall for not just team leads, but for agents. They get frustrated and they're like, forget about this. They don't like asking for help. Well, we'll touch base with those agents and we will make sure that wherever it is that they are stuck at, that we help them through that. And so that frees up more of your time to go and produce. We're still producing agents, but this is kind of like where we found our footing and what we really enjoy doing. And so I think that that's one of the biggest differences between a lot of the other organizations that there are, is that we really have established where, because we've been there, we've been at EXP. I haven't been at Real, but we know where it is that there are pitfalls for agents. For EXP, it's going to create a sim to go and ask for help or talk to a broker. Well, here, because we are pretty much at the front lines of real estate of America, we know everywhere that you need to go in order to get that help. If not, we can help streamline that process for you. But because we have been at some of these other rev share brokerages, we also know where organizations, where they lack and where they start to lose agents at, right? And so, in having that information, we're working from like day one. We're already ahead of the curve and we're already working on creating programs. So one of the programs I think that we've touched on that we're developing is we have agents that are like, I have people that would love to join Realty of America, but they're new agents or they're getting licensed and they themselves are maybe newly licensed. And it's like the blind helping the blind here, or leading the blind here. And so we've been in discussion, and it looks like we're going to probably be rolling out like a beta program of a new realtor boot camp, And so what that looks like, we're kind of in development now. And so super excited to work on that and help grow Realty of America that way. Again, we see a need and we fill that need all across the board.
I agree with you 100%, Maribel. And I think that it's really, from a teacher standpoint, remember, because I'm the degree teacher in the group, I think it's really important that we don't make the mistakes of putting them in a classroom just all the time, because some brokers say you have to do this for 30 days or 60 days. Yeah. I think part of it should be interactive. You should be actually live writing contracts together and solving problems together, hoping open houses together, because a lot of real estate is psychology, and it's also about problem solving. And people they're new, they're not confident, they're nervous. And so they make mistakes simply because maybe they word vomit, right? They'll say too much because they just learned all this in school and they don't know what else to say. Sometimes just sitting back at an open house and saying, tell me more. Tell me more about where you're coming from. It's amazing how my conversion rate at open houses. And that is something I want to teach new agents, because it's so simple, but yet they just don't know what they don't know. And so I think that us coming together and really like loving on them, but also doing what's really strategically important for them, right? Not just sticking them in a boot camp for 60 days where they're not actually doing live real estate. Like let's put them in the field. Let's let them shadow us on listing appointments. Let's walk with an investor a nasty property together. And I'll show you how I do that, what that looks like. Let's go to an apartment complex and actually make videos. And let's make it real for them, right? Because when it becomes real, then it's interactive and you're touching on different styles, which is, I think, one of the biggest breakdowns in real estate is people think you have to have a piece of paper, you read a book, you pass all these classes, and then poof, you're a realtor and you know everything. You know nothing.
Yeah.
You
know how to pass a test, basically. Yeah. You know how to pass a test. No, but you're 100% right. Everyone has a different learning. Everyone learns and processes information differently, where some people can be taught like this, or via a book. Other people, I think that they're going to be able to retain more by being out in the field and learning, walking a property. This is what I'm looking for as a seasoned agent who's worked for investors, hedge funds, and retail clients. This is what I look for. This is what I say. Do as I do until you get the kind of the hang of it. And so we're really trying to bridge that gap, because there is a huge gap. You know it because you're in this industry and you come across these agents every day.
I agree with you. And I think that we have to learn from something that famous coach Tony Jerry said, to do everything with strategic intention. And if we can teach mindset of strategic intention with these agents, it's amazing how your life will shift, your skill set will shift, and also your business will shift. Mm-hmm. Because why have the five of us, even in the good and bad years, we've always been somewhat successful, right? We've always been able to pay our bills, been able to create wealth through the good and bad. And trust me, the last 2 years was tough. But there's a reason for that. It's because we always live with some type of strategic intention. So I think it's really crucial that we maybe we should do a whole lesson on that for these agents.
Well, I think that I want to piggyback on that, because that's kind of where I transitioned, because I really took a love to work on myself through the last couple of years of this like roller coaster. And I learned that there's that piece is missing, right? They teach you, what you need to learn at real estate school. You get your license, and then you're like, people want to immediately go to a flat fee broker because they don't want to give anybody money, but then they don't want to learn. So there's this weird misconception, right? So I never wanted to put my agents, when I was training them, into a classroom. I'd send them some stuff, so when we talk about it, they understand. But I'm like, it's like, you're going to learn like drinking from a fire hose. That's the only way that you learn. Like, don't come to me unless you have a client. I will walk you through every pieces of it so you'll remember it for next time. So I agree with that piece. And I also want to bring that personal growth, that mindset, that building the confidence, because you don't have that confidence. They want to go there. Some of them come with cocky attitudes that they're going to, just clients are going to fall into their lap and they're going to make all this money, but then
or their own selling sunset,
whatever. Right. And I think there's a piece of that personal development that, one, if you've never been an entrepreneur, or you're coming from corporate, or you're not.
She froze.
Just keep smiling, guys.
Yeah.
It'll kick back on in a second.
Right. So something I definitely want to bring to the table is, hey, let's work on that piece of yourself. And I try to bring out all the goodness that they can't see at that moment because they don't know real estate. And I try to bring out the stuff that they do know so they can apply it. And it usually, I've been able to see what I've done with some of the mentees that I've had, and I'm proud. So I'm hoping I can bring that in couple with actual trainings and showing you how to do contracts. And that's great. But there's some other stuff that I think is valuable for them to, get through and be successful. So the mindset and just understanding their energy and how they're attracting instead of chasing, and intention and all that stuff. I think that's a huge part of what is missing from the industry in general, from entrepreneurship, but the industry in general. So
taking care of the person as a whole. Yes, they're an agent, but as a person, where's their mind at? How do they feel about what's going on in their life? Because being in real estate, it's tough. You get rejected.
Not for the weak.
It is not for the weak.
No, and the failure rate in real estate, they say it's at like 89%. It's not. It's like 92%. And when you look at the population, 5% of the world are actually leaders and 95% are followers. So I tell everybody, I'm like, you got to pay attention to who you're paying attention to. What we've put together here, like, I'll stand on solid ground. Like, nobody has what we have. No one trains like we train, and nobody cares like we care. And agents right now that are out there struggling, they're not going to get that care. They're not going to get that support. And they're not going to get that training. What the most cloud-based brokerages miss is the support, the training, and then the camaraderie. They talk about being together and they preach the better together and be kind and all that crap, but they don't live it. Whereas we actually do. It's in our heart, it's in our soul. Like, we don't have to do these things. We want to do these things. And we don't only have just one collective space, we actually have two. So Amy's in the Woodlands, yes, but the collective, we have two hubs. We have one at 610 and 290. That's the one that's opening in just a couple of weeks. That's central location, but we also have one in the Katy Fulshear Richmond area, which is a training center and has been here for 2 years now. We train hundreds of agents. And so it's like, our goal is to be that resource for agents to train on listings. Like, the consumers want a market expert. So if you don't know what you're talking about and you think that you just went and got your license and you're going to be a top producer, you're not. You're going to fail. And people, like you were talking about, they go to this flat fee brokerage. It's like, number one, that's a dying breed. So is the franchise model. All of that stuff, that old school model, it's crap. They give you nothing. They just want to take the most amount of money from you and train you in nothing because they don't know. And when you look at like independent brokerages, most of them are run by brokers who never have sold 100 homes. They don't have a clue how to do it. Their goal is just to try to take a little bit from you and get agent count so that they're sustainable. We want to create wealth, like, for everybody out there. We want to teach you how to build wealth so that when you're 70, 80, 90, if you want to still sell homes, you can. But our goal is that you're actually sitting back and educating and helping others and enjoying that part of your life because you have income coming in from all that you've learned and invested in and were taught and trained how to do it the right way. Let's say you guys.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
Yes. Like, there's not another platform put together out there. And you guys, look at the time. Okay, we're coming up on our hour. You guys, for one, Lacie, give everyone the address of where the hub is, the collective hub.
Yes. So it's 2550 Northwest Loop, right there off of 290 and 610. 290 is just the easier cross reference.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful, almost 4,500 square foot office there, co-working spaces, memberships available, which is something that historically cloud-based brokerages don't have. So just to kind of highlight this for agents who might be listening that aren't a part of the ROA ecosystem, but want to be, it's a really amazing setup that we have with ROA, 85-15 split, $14,000 cap. You have opportunities for equity and rev share because we're pre-IPO right now. And then if you want to subscribe to the co-working space through the collective, it's at a very affordable amount for $75 a month. You get access to training 5 days a week. We have a full calendar. We already planned out our 2025, which I thought was crazy. We were sitting here and it was like already mapped out. We'll be opening between the 10th and the 16th of January. We'll have our formal ribbon cutting, I think, on the 23rd. And 24th, I'm sorry, 23rd is your event, right? Yes. 23rd is the Tricia's event, which yes, go ahead.
Time to thrive.
Thank you. Rise and thrive. And so
Time to thrive.
That's okay. That's all right. Just keep going with it, guys. Just keep going with it.
Time to Thrive, which Tricia should hopefully put the link in for reservation. That's going to be at the Improv. That's going to be a really amazing event. So you should definitely highlight that before we jump off. But this, where co-working space is available, and through the co-working hub, you may also enroll in our lead gen systems, which are learning how to work with the Apartments Concierge, learning how to work with Tricia Turner Group, learning how to work with Amy, learning how to work with Maribel and Cam. It's going to be, I think, a really great collaborative space. And we also have independent spaces for teams who are looking to reserve their own private office within the hub so that they can collaborate with other agents at ROA, the collective. So
the difference about this, if anybody's listening, it's a co-working space, but take like one of the current co-working spaces, have all the industries, anybody can come and get a membership. Ours is specifically for Realty of America agents in any market, but predominantly Houston, and it's going to assist even people visiting from other markets. But this is where we wanted to create that collaboration over competition, and we want to help each other. You want to be in the energy and the space of other agents doing more than you or with a different skill set and learn. So that's what's a little bit different about this. And that, yes, it is specific for Realty of America, and that's going to be the difference. And it's not a market center or a team office. This is literally a collaboration for everyone in Realty of America. And I think that is one of the biggest highlights. And we've made it affordable because we understand we used to be the new agent. We used to be the agent trying to like make ends meet and find, our footing. But we also personally have leads and clients that we want to share with people in our ecosystem. So you have that as a resource as well, because I'm always looking for agents that I've trained or that have learned and become seasoned over the year to be able to pass clients to. I want to know that they're being taken care of. So there are opportunities to align with us, to come and be a member at the collective ROA Hub in Houston. And to be a part of all these events and trainings that we are going to be putting on. It's going to be nonstop because Real Team America has their own trainings that are amazing. Tricia has her own trainings. Amy has her own trainings. We all have individual trainings. And then we have the collective trainings that we're going to do together that are going to be amazing. We're going to have events. We're going to have retreats. Like, can you imagine? And guys, don't get worried. I know you see a bunch of women here, but we will gladly.
We take guys too.
We have guys.
Like we love a collaboration with our guys. So,
but what you guys are missing too, though, y'all, is that at that collective hub there and that location, Amy and I will be in there every week teaching. So it's on the calendar for the whole month of 25. So if you want to learn how to work with sellers and how to run value on a property, I'm going to train you. I don't really care if you're on Amy's team, Kim's, whatever, because we're together. You just have to be with Realty of America, and I'm going to train you to be the best version of you and work with any seller out there. You want to know how to work with investors and buyers? Amy's there once a week to teach you that. You just got to show up. Nobody has that, you guys. Nobody.
And we're all investors. Yeah. We're all investors. And so we all have, a lot of experience to share. But one thing she forgot to mention about our hub is we do have a on-site gym.
I was about to say that
your membership. So
I have one too. I have one too. And it's that there will always be someone there to answer your questions. So if one of Amy's team members goes there and she has a question, me, Kim, Lacie, or Tricia may be there, and you can utilize that person to ask them anything. And we all have been in real estate for quite some time. So there's really not anything that we can't answer at this point. And so the support is what's huge, is that it's not just collaboration is absolutely key to all of this. But the support that you get is also instrumental.
Tricia, you can probably give me the facts or the data. One of the biggest things I remember when I had a team is people said they didn't have access to their team lead or their broker. They don't answer the phone. I can't get a hold of them. So, I mean, this is one thing that is number one on being a part of this group is you will have access to one of us at some point. I think all of us, we are in a group chat and all of us are pretty responsive. So, I mean, that's what you're going to get as a leader in this group. So I think that's important.
And I'd like to mention too, for the investors, Amy works with residential investors, but if you are an agent and you need assistance on the multifamily side, I have an 18-year background in multifamily, whether it's, reviewing an asset, trying to determine if it's trading at the correct cap rate. If you need assistance on, this information for any investors that you might run across, whether it be family office or hedge funds, private equity, we have a multiple variety of skill sets that you don't get at a traditional brick and mortar residential brokerage. So it's definitely not just one specific niche. Mm-hmm. Kim did mention the gym. She also forgot the dog park, and we have EV charging stations. If you have
there's too many to remember, right?
So many things, right? So many things. And so, of course, conference room, which is available for reservation to meet clients, or we can do mobile closings there as well. So there's so many resources. It's not just hey, you're going to walk into what a traditional co-working space looks like. You are getting that traditional brick and mortar brokerage feel with reception and all of that, while having the cloud-based incentives and the rev share and the equity and also the national referral basis that we're building, because we're open in multiple states already. So, and we're bringing on more states every day. So,
and the leads, like Kim has mentioned, she's we basically operate like a team without taking.
I was about to just say that.
Sorry, I'm so sorry, Kim. I'm sorry.
Let's join your team. And I'm we are not a team. Well, if you're not a team, what are you? And I'm well, we're a team. I mean, we're a group and a movement that we want to have team-like behaviors.
There you go.
I mean, Tricia has her team, Amy has her team, but as a collective, we're in a group and we are a movement. And I'm you're welcome to come, but we're not we as a collective are not a team. We wanted to embody the team-like behaviors to allow for agents to feel like they have an option, like if they wanted to go into a team or not. So
we actually shut down the team. Yeah, we shut down the team when we transitioned from KW. We brought everyone over as a singular independent agent. So that way we were no longer taking splits from their personal production, which it was better. It was a better fit for them. Now they're capped. They're going to cap that. We don't take that money from them, and we're still incentivized to help them grow. Mm-hmm. So it's a win-win, I think, for all parties involved.
Because there's some agents, they want to be with the team. They want to have access. They want to do that. And I'm like all about it. So that's why we gave them options. You can do it this way. You can do it that way. And so sky's the limit, literally. If agents are like, hey, where do I go? What do I do? It's the new year. I want to make a change. Not real sure. Like, just reach out to us. Any of us will be able to answer all your questions. Yeah.
You guys paying attention out there? For one, it's we're coming up on the hour, so we do not want to take you longer than we need to because it's New Year's Eve and we know you have a lot to. You should be working still, you guys. But mark your calendars, January 23rd, you need to come to this event because you're going to hear from all of us. You're going to not only hear from all of us, but there's a whole lineup. Whether you're a brand new agent, a broker, team leader, whoever you are, you're going to learn about social media. You're going to learn about AI. You're going to learn about putting systems in place, how to build a brand, how to build a brokerage, how to run a team, how to scale a team, how to go from being a teacher to a freaking top producer and a wealthy investor, because Amy's going to be on the stage as well. You guys, the tickets are timetothrive25.com. That's all you can do. Just go to that, timetothrive25.com. You can get free tickets, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So you're out in time to get your kids from school. It's even got free lunch for you guys. So you got to come be prepared to learn. You are definitely going to walk away with knowledge, wisdom, and things to help you grow your business. And you're going to get to meet all of us. So final thoughts, my dear friends, as we end 2024. What are your final thoughts, Maribel?
It is that be ready. Next year is going to be amazing. Make sure that you sit down, look at your goals, and really think about where it is that you want, how it is that you want to position yourself, and who it is that you want to align yourself with going into the new year so that you can absolutely capitalize on the momentum that we're going to be having the next year. Mm-hmm. And because now's your time to thrive.
I love it. Amy, how about you? Final thoughts for 24?
Final thoughts for 24 is look at 24 as a learning experience. We always have ebb and flow in real estate. We have good times and we have bad times. We have times we struggle. And the times you struggle is the times you should be learning. So take those lessons, look at who you're surrounding yourself with, look at what broker you're with, and look at your plan and goals for 2025. And if they are not aligned with your vision, then pivot and make a change and be faithful in all that.
Yeah. Love it. Kim, what say you?
Everything you want, and I'm talking to you, everything you want is on the other side of the fear that you're feeling right now. If you heard from all of us, immediate action, make a decision, do the action.
Take action. I love it.
Have that energy.
Yeah. Lacie, how about you? Final thoughts for 24?
Honestly, I think I'm just really grateful. My life right now in comparison to how it was 2 months ago is like a complete 180 for the vision, I guess, of where I thought we were all going, where I thought Kim and I were going for sure before this one popped in. And so, and then also, circling back with Tricia and Amy. So it's like, I'm very grateful for the opportunities. I'm grateful for meeting people like Mark and Eddie. Because I'd always known of Mark, but never had the privilege of meeting him. And just the family that we've built, because it just really is so naturally connected. All of our energies just flow together. And I honestly it's never felt more comfortable. So I'm very grateful that our hub is kind of like the house that we're building, which is the foundation of the group that we're building. So I guess that would be my final thoughts for 2024.
I love that.
I love that.
You guys, like, put your minds to, you heard from everybody, like, we believe in you, we believe in each other, we believe in everything that we put our minds to, we can achieve. Like, this year didn't kill you. That which doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. So learn from what you should have done differently in 24 and get out there and thrive in 25, because it's coming now, y'all. We're hours away. So super excited. You guys, we will see everyone at Time to Thrive 25 at the Improv, January 23rd, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. 3 event. Come learn, share with us, be with us. If you can't make it to the 23rd, reach out to any of us. You can find us all over social media. If you want to learn more about Realty of America, how do you join? How do you get your real estate license? If you're new, like all of that stuff, they can find all of us on Instagram and Facebook, right, you guys?
Yeah.
Seats are limited, ladies and gentlemen, so grab your seats. We only have 400 spots, and I hear they're filling up fast.
Yeah.
They are, you guys. We just launched this and we're at 100 already.
Woo!
That's amazing. Wow, that's amazing.
And I haven't even done a hard push. Like, I haven't had time. It's like, oh, holy crap. So yeah,
That's amazing.
it's super cool. We're going to have so much fun. Happy New Year, you guys. I love y'all dearly. I'm so thankful
Love
that
you guys.
you're
I
in my
love
life.
you guys.
Bye.
Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year.